Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Depends on what time you're watching this video. Whether you're watching this video in the evening at almost 2:45 p.m. but it feels like 12 because it's getting colder here in Washington D.C. But whatever time you're watching this video, I just want to say, how are you? How are you doing? And we are finally about to enter into November, so we have one more day before we go to November. So today is October 31st, today is October 30th, and tomorrow is October 31st. I'm kind of forgetting the days. But as you can see, I am finally for the first time making a video in my own kitchen. I like to do like something, I like to be very comfortable when it comes to making a video in the house. But where I was staying before, I could not make a video anywhere beside my home room, even if I came home earlier. So today I came home earlier, and I was debating. I was debating whether I should make a video now or make a video later, because I just came. I was in Virginia the whole day, like since last night, doing something, like I was busy, and then I just arrived like about 30 minutes ago. Then I took shower quicker, then I was about to go. Why? Because I have a class supposed to meet at 5:10 5:10 p.m. and it ends at 7:40 p.m. Then today I also have a gym, so I have to go to the gym. I'm like now getting used to the gym. When I don't go to the gym, I feel really bad, so I need to hit the gym. Then I have to make a video like this because I made a commitment to make a video every single day. And yesterday I made a 41 minutes video, very long video, and I watched it and I was amazed. It's amazing on how you create something and you see the reactions, the way you speak, the way you talk. Like right now I'm extremely tired and exhausted. If I watch this video like 2 months later, I will be like watching myself like talking now, and I'll try to imagine how tired I feel, how asleep I am. So anyways, recording videos is such a wonderful thing. Even if you don't get views or people don't view your videos, it gives you like some kind of adrenaline to keep recording. So again, I have electricity, everything I need. So I have a battery, I charge it, and I go and I come back, it's already full. I have a camera, so I have like 5 memory cards, but I want to use one memory card, and I delete the videos every time I upload it. So I upload it on YouTube and I delete everything out of my computer to clean up some spaces, and I don't edit anything, so I don't have to regret. Everything I record, it gets uploaded, so I have to regret. I don't have to think, oh my god, I should have put this thing, I should have put this thing in there. No, just record everything full time, then upload everything on internet. So today I just woke up in the morning. I had some tea. This is a tea. I really love tea. I want to talk about this tea, right? Before I jump, because I have a very long video, like an hour video. But this tea, it tastes really good. I think I mentioned it before. It's from it looks like this. So I'm gonna open up. It looks like this. I don't know if you can see it. It smells really good. Very good. So how did I find out this tea? Well, I went to a Iranian American here in Washington D.C. They have a group called Baha'i Faith, where they they do like things like worshiping, like they believe like all religions are the same. Like they have this is a religion on its own. So when you visit them, they consider you to be a Baha'i friend of Baha'i. So I went to their religious festival, and there was a lady from Uganda, and she's an American, but she used to work for USAID. So she served in Uganda in like Democratic Assembly. She's the one behind like Joseph Kony, negotiation between Joseph Kony If you don't know Joseph Kony, he is a military leader who terrorized the Ugandans, especially in northern Uganda, back in the days before a new president came in and kicked him out. So Museveni kicked him out. So Joseph Kony was he has the government and was to overthrow the government. But anyway, so this lady, she was creating like a presentation to discuss how she used the Baha'i faith to sort of like the religious belief to sort of like reunite and sort of like bring Kony and like the government of Uganda to sort of negotiate. So that was the main sort of discussion. But when she was signing up, when I sent an email to go on this, listen to her talk, they didn't say she went to Uganda. They just say she's been a missionary, doing all kinds of work. So when I showed up, she mentioned how she had experience in Uganda, and So anyway, the story was after the talk, I had a tea. So I tried. They had food. They usually have food. They call this talk fireside talk. So they invited different people to speak, give their experiences. A lot of them they are from Iran. They're Iranian. I think they're Persians. So I immediately I saw the tea and just a random tea because I know tea is tea, right? But then I tried the tea and I'm like, this tea is not the same thing as I used to. Like tastes different. So I tried the first cup, I tried the second cup. I'm like, what? This is not the regular tea. So, and the reason why I was questioning, and I think you can imagine this, like this tea right here, it's not the same. Like I think I ruined it. I want to tell you why. The tea had no sugar. Like you can taste it and feel like there's sugar in something, and there's no sugar in something. There was no sugar, but still, I managed to drink 2 cups. I barely drink tea without sugar. Similar with the coffee. But this time, I drink 2 cups without sugar for the first time. I'm like, this tea doesn't taste sweet. It smells good. Like, what's in there? And the lady who was like organizing the event, she's like, it's a Persian tea. I'm like, Persian tea? Like, that sounds unique. Like, what kind of tea is that? She's like, and I was like, I want to buy this. Like, I really want to buy it. Tell me where I can buy it. She's like, you have to go to an Iranian store, like stuff like that. And then I don't expose my friend's kids. I'll try not to put a picture over here. But anyways, so I was like, I want to buy it. So she gave me like a package. I took a picture. I think I'm going to show you the package in a minute. Actually, let me grab the package. Let me grab the phone. Where's my phone? I think it's right here. No, my phone is not in here. Why do I always... This is why guys don't care about phones. Like, we are not addicted to phones. But anyways, I did get some kind of surprise, like, like this tea is really, really massive. Like, like I need to find out where can I buy it. And she grabbed the box and then she let me take a picture of the tea. I'm trying to find my phone and I can't find it. I always lose my phone and just can't find it. Where did I put my phone? Same thing yesterday, I couldn't find my phone. I think it's in a bag in here. If not, then it has to be somewhere. There we go. I don't know why. So anyway, so I'm gonna put this up. So I don't wanna show my pictures again. I try not to show pictures for my family and my friends in my phone, because that would be ridiculous. So Persian tea, where's Persian tea? Persian, it's called a Persian tea. Right here. So it looks like this. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I hope you can see it. It's very very Persian. Um, so anyway, then it's called Sodath special blend tea with cardamom flavor. So, and I asked her, I didn't ask her anything. She's like, James, I got you. Then she went into her kitchen and she looked for something like this. So something like this. She grabbed it and then she put something in there. In my language, in Africa, they call this gufunika. So this is like Kinyarwanda. So my mom used to do this when I was in school in Uganda. She used to put some food in a bucket and be like, make sure you eat this when you go to school. Like keep this, like mamba or something like that. So this lady, the Persian lady, she's like, James, I got you. She grabbed this and she put this tea there. And she's like, take this home, and enjoy this. So why am I making this video? I talk about Persian tea because when I went to my house, I don't use a kitchen where I stayed before. I don't use kitchen, so therefore I only used this boiling water. And because my landlord was very strict, I could not boil water like make it sound. So I'll put like a towel on it, make it not make a noise. Otherwise, whenever you will hear noise, you will come and say, "Are you making noise? Are you cooking?" So I never really enjoyed publicly like enjoy the tea. Also like like because I have to spend time at the Catholic university or spend time somewhere else, I don't want to drink tea because I have to pee so much. But now I am in the house. I have my own apartment. The university is right across the street, so I don't have to worry about peeing. So I can drink tea in the morning, drink tea in the afternoon, drink tea anytime I want. So today in the morning, I woke up and I boiled my first beautiful Persian tea, and it was amazing. But I put in some sugar, but the smell is still good. The sense is really good. Then I was like, I need to make a video about the Persian tea. I do. I'm from Uganda, so I have no connection with Persians or Iranians. Like I don't know what tribes they have. They have their own issues. I know political wise, I'm involved, but culture wise, I don't know. Food, anything like that. But this tea, like can unite everybody. So that's what I wanted to share today. Second thing, today I was about to go to the gym. I didn't want to record. I just want to record. I wanted to record after I came back. That's because I had the class at 5. The class at 5:10, and then so I wanted to go to the gym. The one that was 2 o'clock. So I was gonna get a scooter and run to the gym. I saw they had the shorts on and everything. So went to the gym on the campus, lift some weight. I was supposed to lift weight at 12 p.m. because that's what I usually do. But when I moved here in this new apartment, I have to, of course, switch things around. I have more responsibilities. I have more things to do, like in the early morning, so that I cannot share on the internet. But so when I didn't have time to do the gym because I was somewhere else, actually in Virginia. So now when I was about to go, like really sitting on my sitting room bed over there, I received an email from the professor that he is not coming and he canceled the class. So right at 2 p.m. That was really good because I would have been really mad if I would have gone to the gym and it's like, oh, the class is cancelled, and I have to like make a video in the dark, because it gets darker, and when it's darker, I really cannot film here in this house, but it feels really good when it's like this. So I was like, okay, since the class is cancelled, let me just go ahead and record the video, and that's where I am here recording this beautiful video. Today I want to so that's like the story. So I'm gonna make this video, then go to campus, go to the gym, run, take my time, work out, lift weight as much as you want. Then I'm gonna come back like probably 7 or something like that, you know. So I just have to make sure I don't miss anything. Anyways, let's jump into today's video. All right. But before again I start, I just want to say that it's been a month since the government has been shut down. I want to talk about this today in details, because before I've been making a video, 15 minutes video. This is going to be more than 15 video, almost an hour, detailing what's happening in Washington DC. DC is really getting really bad. But so far as I know, you know, when I moved here in January, at first the government hired an employee with zero experience, zero politics. An employee came in and he laid off all the workers, and those who did remain, they started working extremely harder. Then you have also workers who were Republicans, who were actually supporting Donald Trump, who also found themselves being affected in one way or the other. Maybe the contractors have to leave, or maybe they have no workers. That created a situation where, you know, people there's a massive hiring, there's also massive firing. So, and then there's a legal system going on, because these people have to file lawsuits for the cases being laid behind. Like, then you have a government shut. Then a few months later, you have a government shutdown, already shut down. When the president says something, when the president passes an executive order, he can't just come in there and be like, oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Let's cancel it. Let's change it. No. So when he said we are firing people like in the batches, so we're supposed to fire the first batch in March, second batch in July, the third batch is supposed to go this October. So this October, a lot of workers are gonna be fired. So when the Trump made the decisions, not the Trump actually, the Elon Musk made a decision, and they passed the executive order to fire all the workers, they have to do it. If they don't, it'll cost so much money. And whether they do it or not, whether they change their mind or not, any decision they make is gonna cost money. Like Trump is a guy who likes to be transparent. He mentioned how every single time he grabs a pen and he signs, that's billions of dollars getting wasted. And then also there's another money spent in lawsuit. Every decision being made goes on the lawsuit, because people are losing money, companies are losing money, individuals are losing money. So it's a lot going on. But something else that was not expected, which was the government shutdown. They crafted a big beautiful bill. We all know Elon Musk did not like it, so he had to quit. He quit like really early in May, and Trump was remaining with his Doge teams, who became very powerless after Musk was gone, and they are no longer in the news anymore. So now it's Trump and his team, these other, the defense and those other teams, and they have to work really harder. Sometimes they have to move them around to keep the things running. So now this October, the bill could not pass. Like, Democrats refused to pass it, and if they refuse, it cannot pass the Senate. Then the Supreme Court also jumped in and started blocking some of the stuffs, like tariffs against Canada and Mexico were thrown in trash. Migration lawsuits going on. You have National Guard lawsuits going on, and you have National Guard getting deployed in many cities. It looks safer, but nobody's going in there. Like, nobody's walking around. Nobody's no tourists, because people really don't wanna go out there. If all you're gonna see, there was actually police. There was National Guard yesterday when I was in DC. National Guard were walking behind me. They're not gonna bother you. They're just nice people. Just don't break the law. But again, nobody wants to see military walking around. Like that's like ridiculous with the police and all that stuff. But anyways, and then you have the tariffs are thrown in trash. Then you also have the firing. The Supreme Court passed the law that hinders Trump from firing more federal workers. So that puts another pressure. Money, remember, need to be spent because people were not. People are filing lawsuits. They're not working. They stopped. So they count all the money that they missed, plus all the expenses and the fees and the legal fees and everything like that. There's a lot of money going in there. And then you had tariffs against China, which exacerbated the consumer because Americans rely on the Chinese goods. Simple things like makeups, cosmetics, electronics became ridiculously expensive. Supply chain disruptions. Then you have the war in Ukraine, and you have the war in Israel. Like those things, added up and made things much worse. But then the government, the Congress could not agree to pass the bill. At least if they pass the bill, this feels like like a Pharisee, like a Rosa version, like we already screwed up enough. Please let us go whatever we have. Like that's the point you are in. Like we are begging, can you please at least pass this bill so we can at least have things going? Because it's not just the Democrats, but also the Republicans who were hired to work in the police, to deport migrations, like those what do they call them? The ICE, International Immigration Custom Enforcement. They are not getting paid because they rely on the federal government, so they don't get paid. They're not like local police. So federal workers, they don't make that much money. I mentioned this before. People work in the government, they don't make that much money. The only thing that they make is the pension. They have benefits, so they can retire. But other than that, they have $0. Like they have to rely on a food stamp. They have to rely on, like, I am better than them because I'm a private person. I'm a private citizen. And I know, and the bad thing about government is that when you are into government service, like public service, there's nothing else you can do. Like once you go to the private companies, you cannot survive because private companies, they treat employees like trash, right? So you have to know how to fight for yourself, how to compromise, how to negotiate. Government employees are known to be very cool, very respectable. Like those things do not happen in the private area. So they have a hard time adjusting to the normal life that we used to. And also this came as a shock, like happens really fast. Like from January to this day, this happens really quickly. So there has not been a adjustment. They were not given notes. They are not given time to look for a new job. Usually that's how it works. Usually when somebody's about to hire, when you're about to get fired, you have to get a notice like a month earlier. Then you can arrange. Then they also give you some money to rely on once you are out of work. That did not happen. So what we see right now is just simply the government shutting down, and the federal workers are pretty much like homeless. Some of them are actually gonna be living on the street. There was a guy who I think he's like something like in the government, something like that. He works in tax system. He was serving hot dogs yesterday to just make a living because it's real. Stuff is real. These guys don't make that much money. I mean, I live here. When we say politicians are rich, they are not rich. They just have access to resources. That's it. Like if you're a politician, you don't have money. What you do have is access to connection. So you can go to the bank and say, I need $1 million mortgage to buy a mansion in South Carolina, and the bank will give to you because they trust you. They believe that if the government can hire you, then you're trustable to pay back those loans, and you can also like advocate for them or be like a lobbyist or something like that. So that's the only thing that government employees do have that we private people we don't have. We private people we are judged by the companies we work for and how much money we make. For them, they're judged by their integrity and their trust from the high level government, stuff like that. So when things like this happens, they struggle as much as we do. And in fact, when somebody like Trump is in power, he makes them look dumber, he makes them look stupid. So they really like there's no like feeling about it. Like, there's no remorse about these federal workers. He gave them such a bad image, like they are terrible, like they are this and that, and and they are not. Like I've been able to see, I've been evaluating these federal workers. A lot of them are just making a penny, just assisting individuals, just doing what they're supposed to do. They went to school for degrees in international trade and national diplomats. Like they just want to help, and they want to do something that is greater. They want to, promote the country, do something for the country. But anyways, moving on. Trump today or yesterday, I think that was last night, he went to China, not China but in Asia, and he was able to negotiate with China on a trade deal. So China has accepted to buy, I think it's a $10 billion worth of soybeans from the United States, but he did not mention anything about fentanyl, because the reason he said that he increased tariffs on China because there was fentanyl in China. China was shipping fentanyl in the United States, sometimes through Mexico or through Canada, so they will use third parties to ship here. So, but he did not mention anything about fentanyl. Maybe he did. Maybe I was just read the news that China's gonna be buying our soybeans because we produce a lot of soybeans, and we need to sell to the market. So anyway, that's all I heard, that he was able to negotiate. So he dropped the tariffs to like 50-40% down. But again, like I mentioned before, even about Israel. Israel had a deal with Hezbollah or this group, not Palestine. Palestinians are people, but the groups within Palestine territory, I think it's called Hamas. They made a group with Hamas, and then a few days later, like Israel went back and bombed the area. So it's kinda, so the ceasefire was not really was pointless. So we could see the same thing with China. Trump might come back and like increase tariffs like next day and change his mind. At the end of the day, we have being bombarded with the tariff prices, which tariff is like taxes. It's a tax actually. And then we are bombarded with people getting laid off from the federal government. So we have less people working, less people doing the work. So even then we don't have the organizations that's supposed to be helping us, like BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, supposed to be helping us, give us statistics, give us numbers, keep us updated. We need those numbers. We need to know how the market is going. We need to make decisions every single day. If we don't know what's happening in the economy, people are not gonna buy. People buy. This is a simple. Trump did economics. Like, it's not like he's doing this without knowing economics. Like, this guy did economics. He knows that when people don't have information, they don't know to buy. Like, we buy because we have information. People buy houses because they know, like, in the future they can sell that house and get the return, in their investments. Right? People go to hospital because they know they're gonna get cured. People put money in the bank because they know they can go back and get their money back. People go to work because they know they're gonna get paid. We live in the world of trust, and the trust is based on information. And information is data. When you limit the data from getting shared, whether you agree with it or not, you're gonna cause people to pull back. Even those who support you, they're gonna pull back. They're gonna start trusting you less and less and less. Then it causes some kind of misinformation, right? But Again, I don't know how we're gonna pull this off, but I'm hoping that we are almost pushing a year, so we're in November, so we're heading to Christmas, and then we're gonna have Americans shopping because Americans are very Christian, thank God, and they're gonna have like Thanksgiving, buy, shop, so we might see the economy bumping up a little bit. Then if things go well, Trump goes to Mar-a-Lago, maybe has to go off, has a dinner, Thanksgiving, and is happy, he may come back and maybe make some policies that will be great. And also we hope that the Congress will also meet and decide and make decisions, and then eventually sort of pass the bill and they open the government and start hiring. And because people like me, like I cannot get a job no matter how many times I try. I cannot get a job if I'm going to be competing with somebody with 20 years of experience, who's a PhD from Harvard, who got laid off. Like, it's impossible. Like, these people have 20 years of experience, they got laid off, and it's really hard to break into the market. And if that person who got laid off is not hired, he cannot consume, he cannot buy, and if he doesn't buy, then I can't get a job either because the market is not working. So we're gonna open the economy and get everything start working as normal. So that's all I have to share. Then I think I want to share about update. I want to share about this update because I mentioned this in my first video. Is the AI. So Amazon laid off like 14,000 employees. I made a video about this. I don't know how AI is gonna affect people. If you haven't watched this video, go ahead and watch it. But AI is just like this, some kind of a bubble, like very rumors going out there, but it's a software that is going to be used to replace a lot of workers, and then companies are going to lose money, and then once they lose the money, they're going to start rehiring again, or they might cause the economy to crash. But when the market of a product goes up, that means there is a demand. That demand could be just fake demand, but there's a demand somewhere. And when the demand goes up, too many people get in the market. If they cannot get in the market, they will use politics to get in the market. And that's what we see here. We see Nvidia getting like really strong because they are producing microchip thanks to the money from the government. We also see AWS and Google, all these big corporations getting money from the government. Why? Because the government is investing in infrastructure, and then use that money to invest in Nvidia. So they are making like a group of investing in one company, right? And then this company called Nvidia is getting a huge a huge revenue. Like it's growing fast, like $5 trillion for the first time. Here's the problem though. When this happens, right, there is somebody watching. That person can be Europe, that person can be China, that person can be Taiwan, that person can be India. India has not yet entered the market as much, but it could be Brazil, it could be Ukraine. Ukraine has really good engineers, right? What are they gonna do? Also, there are some Americans watching it too. There are some American people watching. Then there are other companies that are also competing, like Google, for example. Like ChatGPT just released, like a Chrome or like search engine. So like competing with Chrome, competing with Google. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna build the software to compete. Now you're gonna have more softwares doing the exactly same thing. Then it's gonna make this AI thing become absolute, like useless. The same way we see Google became pointless. Like nobody really cares about Google as much, right? So that's the whole point. Like this hype, this thing is gonna just, they are firing people, like companies are firing people because they wanna spend the money into the infrastructure because that's where money is supposed to go. And there's this intelligence that that China is ahead of the United States in terms of AI. So the government puts the money into these companies as an endowment, and the goal is to use that money specifically to produce a ton of AI products so they can compete with China. The quality is great. We still have the highest number of AI products, but whether they're efficient or not, we don't know. Now, firing people does not necessarily mean that these products are efficient. Does not mean that they're doing good things. Just means they are just allocating money from one place to another. So somebody is benefiting from this money, and that person has to be either an investor or a one engineer who's just happen to be lucky to stay on the team. But somebody's making money out of the line, and this is why we might see high taxes in the coming years if Democrats win the election. So that's all for today. Other than that, I am going to be mentioning about my research paper that's coming up in this as a final for econometrics. Last time I mentioned about my paper that I worked on, which was the employment in 1978, 1975. Paper was good. I received really positive feedback, good points, good marks. So I'm grateful for it, and I'm hoping to do the same thing, but much more better at this time. So trying to drag this video to make it at the last minute, but this is just what's happening in DC. Just know that there is really government shutting down, and it looks ugly. I met many people. I met many professionals in the government doing things like DoorDash, trying to survive. This is something that may sound unbelievable, but it gives us something unique, right? Because normally in a place like in Africa, for example, when the government lays off some workers or decides to cut some employees, those employees will become like terrorists, or they become rebel groups, and they fight against the government. Especially almost all African countries, they are multi-party system. So everybody quit his own political party. They start fighting. In the United States, when people got laid off, they just accepted it. They are not blaming any political party. They are trying to be a non-partisan. Non-partisan means we are not part of either Republican or the Democrats. And they do this because some of them went to school for political science. So I'm doing economics, so I don't know much about political science. People did political science. They know that things like this happens, and sometimes the government might change. Like the Republicans might come up with an idea, and they might fix the economy, and they might also like open up. Jobs might open up. So by staying neutral and staying non-partisan, if the economy happens to back up, they're gonna hire you as the employee and keep doing what you're doing. So if your job was to work in BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, keep doing what you're doing. Yesterday, I'm gonna spend this 12 minutes mentioning about yesterday. Yesterday, I attended a geopolitical. I'm gonna share about this in the future. I'm also gonna work on an article. Hopefully this won't be a controversial article, but I attended a geopolitical seminar. That's what I was going to yesterday. When I said I was going to the campus, that's what I was going to attend, and I think it was very interesting. I'm gonna show you here from my email. So this is the one. So Catholic University of America, and it's called. I'm gonna zoom in here. Washington and the world. The new geopolitical the new geopolitics of trade, technology, energy, and war. Okay, the new geopolitics of energy, trade, and war. Why is this a topic? Why we are entering in? I'm gonna talk about this in a new video, but we are actually entering into walk as I walk out of my room. We're entering into a new geopolitical system where the war is going to be based on energy. For example, Russia is using energy to capture Ukraine, and China is using trade to work with Russia, at the same time trading with the United States. No, BRICS is shifting away from the dollar. They want to be independent. So yesterday's talk was actually like, it was like an intelligent showcasing how geopolitics is connected, and how Africa, especially Northern Africa, is like playing a big role into these things. I'm really getting tired. But the energy, like for example, this AI, this new AI, I mentioned this in my last video. They are so powerful. They consume a lot of energy, right? Like in the USA, companies are going to be building big data centers as big as a Manhattan Island in New York City. That's how big it's gonna be, because this AI, they consume a ton of energy, and to be able to supply energy to people, like have electricity in my house, at the same time ensure that it's cheaper, then supply to the companies, then to the offices. You're gonna have to increase the energy. But if you want to stay competitive, if you want to stay ahead with China and then cap with Russia, I have no clue who's calling me. So to stay ahead with Russia, we will need to produce a lot of energy to stay competitive, because China, even though it's doing great, it's very, very inefficient. Like they are producing so much with zero care about environment, zero care about nuclear power plants, zero care about emissions, CO2. They don't care, and I understand. They're just getting out of poverty. So, but United States is investing so much money to reduce the CO2. Like they are doing a great job, but they cannot stay competitive because another country is just, becoming irresponsible, despite USA being in the same group as China in the World Trade Organization. So, if you are in a game with somebody and that person is winning, but they're playing an unfair game, but you're trying to be loyal, playing a fair game, sometimes doesn't sound okay, right? Like it's not cool. So, anyways, United States is going to be shifting toward this nuclear power plant because they need to keep up with the energy. We cannot produce enough amount of solar panels to support the energy consumption. Even if we fill the whole Arizona, California, Nevada area, Utah with solar panels, we cannot have enough energy to sort of support how much the AI needs. And we have the most AI production in the world. So it's something Trump needs to make a decision, and because Trump is an anti-environment, so we're gonna have to see a ton of energy production getting produced. That's the geopolitics, and then we need more gasoline, and we cannot rely on Russia, so we have to produce our own gas. That means we have to have not only do we have to produce more nuclear power plants, we also have to produce more gasoline, which is going to sort of change the way we view environment, change things around. So that was yesterday's conference, yesterday's seminar. I have notes, I have so many things to share, but I hope in this video I covered so much in one video that I always wanted to share, and I feel like this conversation is not gonna come back anymore. It's just I'm letting these things out, telling what I think, what I see, what I observe, and as somebody who lives in Washington DC, who could at any moment work in policy, public policy, economic analysis, international trade, international agreements, right? Sanctions, like I study to see how sanctions affect Russia, right? What's the best way to sanction terrorism groups, narcotics, army embargo, how do guns transfer to other areas, the threat from anti-US, right? Or the threat to the allies like Taiwan, like those things. If I don't mention those things in this video, I'm probably not gonna have time to mention these things. I'm gonna be busy. So that's all I have for today. I'm gonna just turn the camera around and show you guys yesterday's video. After setting up, now there's light, it looks great. So hopefully it's not gonna be darker. Yesterday was very dark, so it looks cool now. So as you can see, this is a tiny video. So this is the I was setting up this yesterday, so this is how it looks like. Still looks dark, but the TV works. Just a very tiny TV, very small, but again, I really don't care. And I go in there, I go to I want to watch YouTube, so I go to YouTube. I don't know where's YouTube, right here. I go to YouTube, and that's what I have to do. That's me, the channel, and that's all for today. A lot of YouTube stuff. But anyways, I was able to set up yesterday, and the bed was fantastic. It was great. I think I did not sleep here. I slept in Virginia yesterday, so I did not sleep here. So I don't know how it feels like to sleep here. I probably won't sleep here until like Monday or something. But other than that, that's all I have for today. That's what I have to share for the geopolitics, the Washington DC, my room setting up, and what is the events I go to, the conferences I go to, the hiring, and all those things, the layoffs and those things. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Like always, stay curious. Remember, always stay ahead. People who do not live in Washington DC, they miss out a ton. There's much going on here. Remember, if I can come to the United States as a migrant, and I care so much about the government of the United States, and to the point where I moved to DC, if you are born here, you should be able to know. If you live in another country, just know that the government here in the United States affects you. If you live in Russia, if you live in Ukraine, if you live in Europe, if you live in Canada, if you live in Quebec, Canada, I guess, if you live in Africa, I don't know, Congo, whatever country you live in, if you live in California, if you live in San Diego to Eureka, maybe Las Vegas, South Carolina, Alabama, deep south in the hot weather, or you live up in New York, in the slums of New York City, whatever that is, that looks like the rats and all those things in New York City, the trash area. Whether you live on a boat in an island, Hawaii, somewhere, just know that United States here in Washington DC, literally northeast across my arm like this. Okay, that place affects you so much, so you should be able to know what's happening here. It's your responsibility. Nobody else is gonna do for you. You should be able to know, figure out how to find out what's happening here. What's happening here affects everybody, affects your life, your healthy, and your future children, your future generation. So thanks for watching. This is a good video. I'm really excited for it. and I was talking the whole time, so I'm gonna be watching this after, and I'm gonna be excited and laughing. Other than that, go back to the same intro I started with, the Italian, beautiful Italian tea. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.